All right. Well, I'll just jump in and we'll do our usual just walk through the updates, walk through the timeline for mainnet launch, um, and then we'll open it up for conversation. And yeah, we can call it early if we need to, or go to the full 30 minutes. So, all right, I'm going to just shift gears here and do some screen sharing. All right. So, present, not share. Welcome to the Regen Network Community Dev Update. I forgot to update the date here. Let me just make sure I'm in the right one, actually. Yes, I am. The 17th. March 17th, 2021, we're continuing our march to mainnet launch. We are still on target for a April 8th, knock on wood, mainnet launch. You can find the testnet leaderboard and rewards at regen.vitwit.com. Thank you, Anil, for all of the hard work over now at this stage years of keeping track of the points. And just a brief note about how that all works. Essentially, all of the tasks that have been assigned to incentivize testnets are on chain. And so Anil and his team have audited after every testnet and gone through and then added points according to the point framework that we created. And then myself and other lead validators have gone in and looked at that and essentially sort of given it a rubber stamp of approval. And that's happened for every testnet. And so now we've got this last round, which is the total rewards. You can go to regen.vitwit.com and you can see the leaderboard there. You can see it represented in points or in tokens to get an idea of how many tokens you'll be qualifying for. We're solidifying this just today, sort of finally after a little bit of a review process to just make sure everything is ship shape. You'll notice that many of the lead validators have both point scores and token representation, and those lead validators aren't actually being distributed those tokens. That's sort of part of their impartial role in helping steward the community, has been doing the testnets and participating. So thank you to the lead validators for being impartial sort of community leaders to help just steward the whole process. We really appreciate that. So this is, I think, there's one last little sort of double check on this. Otherwise, I think you can expect these scores to be pretty stable. If you do have issues around your score and you feel like there's a problem, please reach out as soon as possible to ideally Anil, Dan, and I, who are kind of the committee looking out at this. So you could create a little Discord chat with the three of us if you wanted to, and just go through, hey, I feel like something happened, we can do a quick review. But let's do it quickly because we're really trying to solidify this so that all of the validators out there who've participated in our incentivized testnet system we can get a SAFT out to you for signature. And you can get that back to us, and then you will have your rewards will be in Genesis, which greatly supports your ability as validators to participate in Genesis, get your GenTX in, participate in Genesis, and help with this decentralized mainnet launch that we're working towards. I'm going to just take a quick pause and see if Dan or Anil have anything to share on this subject before I move on.
No, I think you said it. Yeah, as long as we can get those. If you have any issues with your token allocation or your point allocation, just make sure you get that to us like immediately so we can get
yesterday.
Yesterday would be better. Thank you.
And as soon as this is, have we done, just a quick question, Dan, have we done an announcement into the announcement channel with the rewards? I believe I saw that, but just to double check.
As far as this, the leaderboard is concerned, or
Yeah. The
yes,
leaderboard.
it's been communicated.
Great. Awesome.
I can do it one more time too.
Let's
Not
do
an
it
issue.
one more time, just to make
Yeah.
sure everybody gets it, didn't miss it, and can connect with us. Okay, so again, we're on target for April 8th as our Genesis launch. We're putting together a really awesome sort of pregame show and live launch event that's going to be co-hosted by our lead validators and Regen Foundation and R&D Incorporated. And you'll get to hear from the engineering team and science teams and community members and validators. And we'll just, as a community, just kind of have a moment to have a forum and discuss. And it'll be streaming live on YouTube, also recorded, so people can sort of see it for posterity. It should be a lot of fun. The postmortem of the testnet, we're still finalizing. We should actually have that out here shortly. Again, I'd like to just note to everybody that we'll be launching Regen Network, with the latest version of the Cosmos SDK, and all of the experimental, not experimental, but all of the major Regen network focused features, which are the eco credit module, the eco data module, and the groups module, will be sort of in an experimental mode. So we'll also be running a test net. We'll be running through a rigorous checklist and then voting those up as a community onto Regen Ledger after we launch. So in the first month of mainnet, there's going to be a lot of governance activity. We're working on setting up a discourse and integrating that with Discord. We're just having some conversations about that. If community members have experienced really phenomenal governance tools that they'd like us to consider, please let us know. So that's all underway. So just to note, after mainnet launch, it's not just done and dusted. There'll be a strong need for community engagement to participate in upgrading into the 3 core modules and enabling transfers so that the full system is working in sort of the minimum viable way that we've all been working together over the last couple of years to create. So I'll just pause again, see if there's any questions or additional comments about that. Awesome. So moving right along. Thanks to Mircea and the Informal team. They've been publishing these really fantastic YouTube videos for best practice in validators. So you can see the links here. These have all also been posted in the validator channel. Please check them out if you'd like. Share comments there and engage. This is just to kind of like really level set and get everybody up to speed with the state of the art in secure public proof of stake validator operations, key management, and learning all about the different node types. And so just really fantastic resource. Thanks to the Informal team for putting this together for us and the rest of the Cosmos ecosystem. Is Mircea on? Do you have anything you'd like to add? I think he had to hop into another meeting today.
Yeah, he said with the time change, this makes it a bit more difficult for him.
All right, not everybody's on same time zone. Okay, just a reminder, you can go to the public Notion roadmap for just a sense of what's happening in the different domains of Regen Network, science, our work with Open Team, our work on the Cosmos SDK, Regen Ledger releases, our Regen registry sort of interface for people to register credits and methodologies, and really a lot of where the sort of product, the rubber hits the road there. You can see all that. We really do our best to be built in public. So you can have a look at that. And then I also just would take a shout out. It's always good if you want to keep up to date with this the most recent documentation for Regen Ledger and the various other elements of the software that's sort of being shipped in this mainnet launch, go to docs.regen.network. I forgot to put that up on this slide, but it's good to keep in touch. We're really scrambling to keep that as up to date as we can. Obviously, docs always follow a little bit when you do this built-in public sort of approach, but we're doing our best to keep that all up to speed. So, and obviously my weekly reminder, if you'd like, you can add this Google Calendar, which has all of the major sort of milestones on the lead up to mainnet. And we will also be using post mainnet for scheduled upgrades and community events and all of the rest of it. So you can go have a look there. And yeah, thanks so much for walking through that with me. And I will open it up as always for questions, comments from the community, and we can discuss whatever makes sense here for the remaining 15 minutes of our call.
Yeah, I can start with a question. You mentioned that there will also be a lot of possibilities for the community to get involved post mainnet launch. Do you have any specific programs you have in mind to engage the community post mainnet?
Well, that's a great question. Even right now, so we have I wish I would have included, thank you for that question. I wish I would have included a link here. We're participating right now in a green NFT Gitcoin hackathon bounty. So there are some Regen tokens available for people to think about offsetting NFTs that are being issued on Ethereum, for thinking about interchain NFT, minting and exchange, for issuing an NFT on IrisNet, for instance, instead of Ethereum. There's an NFT module right here in our Cosmos ecosystem. So there's a set of really cool ideas and prompts that community members could go engage with. I didn't include the link there. Adriana, maybe.
Yeah, I can take it.
That'd be fantastic. Thank you. So that's about to kick off, I think. You could also just Google Gitcoin green NFT and it'll all come up there in their platform. So that's going to be ongoing. As I was noting, a lot of it is going to be just community engagement around, those of us who are participating, governing this protocol of Regen Network, engaging in both, decentralized launch and then the governance process. And so people who would like to join I think we'll start to create a governance working group, and there'll be a forum. We're really going to invite participation there. We're also, this is all a little bit more soft focus and I can't be quite as specific, but we're also going to be starting a post mainnet to make some plans and offers around people who want to develop specific modules on Regen Network that aren't in that early suite of the credit module, the data module, and the groups module. So we'll be doing our best to stay in touch, but just sort of engaging. Thank you. Sweet. Oh, awesome.
Gregory, what are some modules you can think of that are on your mind that need to be
birthday cake?
Oh, happy birthday!
Is it actually your birthday?
It was on Sunday.
Oh, happy birthday!
Thank you. Thanks, Obi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Daniel, you were just asking about modules. Can you ask again?
Yeah, I was just curious, headline, what are a few modules that like on your wish list of things that would be cool to see that you think are missing? I know that the community will probably come up with unthought of.
The things that I'm most excited about and in conversation with people about are the following. an NFT module for regenerative or ecological art that can link, and there's a whole beautiful world there, and there's really exciting conversations happening. So that's one, sort of like a gallery, NFT minting and gallery system, curation system.
Yeah.
That's number one. A supply module for plugging into supply chain transparency and linking claims and ecological outcomes into supply chain systems. We're in some really exciting conversations there. That's something I think would be great to get done as quickly as possible. A wrapped Bitcoin and protocolized wrapping of digital assets to offset them, so that essentially can happen in an automated way where people can pull credits from the credit module and link them, and vault another asset and create an offset, sort of carbon neutral digital asset is another piece that we're really excited, and there's some really active conversations going. So that's art, sort of DeFi and supply are the three things that I think there's ongoing activity and conversations that I'd be really excited to see community activity around, and we'll try our best to sort of support that. And then there's a whole universe of other sort of opportunities and possibilities that kind of links in with the functionality we're trying to create together. So
cool. Those are all really, really interesting use cases. Thanks.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if this is a question to add to this call, but in terms of user experience, I saw that Kepler announced adding the Regen Network post mainnet. Is there something besides Kepler that your team is considering?
We're open to being supported by any and all wallets. I think
cool.
We will also, of course, be, I think we have plans to just make sure that Looney Light will be sort of supporting that ourselves. So there's a Looney option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm happy to as quickly as possible be integrated into other wallet solutions. We wanted to make sure that we had at least one support, and so we've been cooperating a lot with the Kepler team, and they've been great. And yeah, would love, Cosmos Station, other folks in the ecosystem. There's a lot of good wallets out there, so hopefully we'll be supported by all of them as quickly as possible.
Awesome. And in terms of Explorer, is the Vitwit one the, let's say, official Regen Explorer?
I don't know that. I think, I mean, they will be supporting it, and I don't know that I'd call it official per se. We want to have many different explorers. I think that hopefully Forbo will support with their Explorer. Hopefully there'll be multiple ones. But I know that Anil and the Vitwit team have a strong commitment to that Explorer being up and running, and they may sort of become the default official Explorer if other Explorer providers aren't quick on the uptake. I think, because we're sort of launching with the latest version of the Cosmos SDK, we should be very easy to support for explorers and wallets in the ecosystem. So,
yeah, exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. Yeah, any other questions or comments? Okay, well, yeah, if there aren't any other big questions or comments or ideas, I guess we can move towards wrapping up here a little bit early. Again, we're still on track for our mainnet launch on April 8th, knock on wood, and that's obviously pending, certain audits and tests that are happening, but all of it is proceeding according to plan so far. So far, so good. And
what version are you launching? Will you have IBC integration, or is it after mainnet launch?
We'll be launching with the IBC module. The IBC won't be enabled. It will need to be enabled through governance.
Okay.
So
Okay. Mhm.
As will transfers, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, excited to spin some connections and transfers between Cosmos Hub and Regen soon.
Yeah. Oh, and this is another, we've been having really great conversations with, this is probably useful news for the community. You know, nothing set in stone yet. It's all, you know, process, but we had some great conversations with Young over at Bee Harvest. We're also looking forward to talking with the Osmosis team, but we are definitely planning on supporting a Atom Regen trading pair from our community to ensure that there's sort of decentralized liquidity for Regen staking tokens, essentially right when when that goes live on the hub. So
Yeah.
as soon as that's live on the hub, we'll be supporting ideally, you know, there's some timing and other things, but that's what we're aiming for. So that sort of relates to, I'm not making, just disclaimer, I'm not making any promises. This is all still pretty fluid, but we are assessing our public sale options, and it looks like we will be moving forward with something like a balancer sort of bonding curve or reverse Dutch auction, such as Radical just did, which is a great tool for two things. One is price discovery, and the second is generating a trading pair. And then we'll basically, you know, the current plan, and again, this is not set in stone, and I'm not speaking this as a promise, but the current pair is to run that as a public sale and then basically move that trading pair that we do a bonding curve around ideally over the gravity deck, gravity bridge, and have it trading on the hub. So that's kind of our ideal scenario. We're still assessing different ideas and sort of providers for that all taking place in the decentralized world fully. So if people like to geek out on those things and have ideas, you know, we're all ears. We do have a pretty awesome team working on it right now. So we'll be sort of making official announcements about that as we solidify it. Yeah, so that's all underway and very exciting. So hopefully we can be one of the first trading pairs listing on the hub.
Yeah. Exciting. Also, was thinking from a community perspective, once the mainnet launches and the team has a chance to breathe a little bit and reflect on what other things are needed for ecosystem development and also for the community development, maybe a call to action type of list in terms of, okay, this is what we're looking for in terms of development, and this is what we're looking for in terms of community engagement, could be something like very targeted for the community to have like an idea on what are the things that they could work on, for example.
Yeah. No, that's a great idea, and I think hopefully we'll start developing a pretty robust kind of engagement and maybe bounty system around some of those things. So I love that idea, and excited to have Dan on board helping with the community together in that way.
I mean, the scope of that will be a more clear direction, because people also have all these options like, okay, I can take a grant, I can make a request for funding, but what should I build? What is it needed, you know? And they lose like a lot of time contemplating on that idea. And maybe if, for example, the team is actually the body who knows best what it is needed as a team level and as a project level. So setting those directions very clear from the beginning and directing people on exact things that you would like them to build will make the job a lot easier for them.
Yeah, I've been thinking something similar, just sort of like, you know, and I'll be trying to publish. Well, there's a couple of things that I'm working on right now, and one of them is actually just a blog that walks through the full white paper at like what we said we were going to do and what has happened, because the white paper was written in like 2017, 2018. And I look back and I'm like, I'm startled about A, our progress, and B, how close we were in a lot of ways, but just being more specific. You know, what does our approach to ecological data actually look like? And what does our approach to, you know, credits in the marketplace actually look like? And so I'm sort of going through in all of those places. And then at the end, I will have sort of a list of the things that have emerged that we had no idea about, such as AMMs and trading pairs and like ways of creating liquidity and the role of that in natural capital markets, and you know, the key functions that we're hoping to engage as a community to build out. So hopefully that'll do a fair amount of what you're saying. And then I do think I'd like to engage the community in some sort of governance signaling, so that we can sort of set out an agenda, like you're saying, and say, here are the things that we want to accomplish this year together, and just go through a little bit of a process even. So it's less us just saying what it is and us giving a proposal or a candidate, and then the community sort of being able to signal about if that seems right, maybe make some adjustments. And then I think we can all have a lot of clarity that that is indeed kind of what we're shooting for as a community, as a protocol, in a bigger sense. You know, like, here's what we're in it. Obviously it'll be a little loose, but just sort of some signaling around that, so we have some buy-in. And then from that, I think then we can sort of parse it out, and people can take chunks and just start working on it, like you're saying, which I think is really valuable, to just be able to sort of focus on a specific module or a specific contract or a specific credit type, because each one of these could be a whole livelihood and a whole, you know, its own business opportunity in its own domain. So people starting to own that and sort of build their sort of application and business on those is really important and exciting.
Yeah, speaking about governance, I would love to see a change to the governance module, the voting, that allows like casting multiple votes for multiple parts of the same proposal. Like, for example, let's say you're making a signal proposal which has like different components, right? Like a roadmap. Okay, we want to do this 1, 2, 3, right? And instead of launching 3 proposals for each proposal to last 2 weeks and things like that, you can add all those components in one proposal, and maybe a user can vote differently on each type of the proposal. And in this way, you have like some type of like signal proposal that showcases the entire narrative around a larger type of proposal, which is structured on multiple layers.
Yeah, definitely. And we're also, I spend a lot of time over in the Common Stack community, so I really like their conviction. There's several different things that we're excited to be looking at in terms of governance, and the new groups module work that Regen has been leading for the Cosmos SDK is really going to open up the possibility for a much more nuanced and sort of composable and flexible approach to governance. So we're really excited. We're really excited to be modeling that and also see it starting to work in the broader ecosystem. I think there's going to be a whole wave of innovation around just more flexible, agile, modular governance. Because as we've all experienced, at least those of us who are involved in the Cosmos Hub, it's hard to do these sort of like omnibus, like every token holder voting on a specific piece. It's just quite hard. There does need to be some level of, you know, sort of delegation and specific sort of sub voting and signaling taking place for the amount of complexity that needs to be managed to move quickly. So anyway, that's all a very exciting, I think, arena.
Yeah, it is. Looking forward to that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Adriana, for your great questions, and good to see you. And thanks to all of the folks who showed up, familiar faces and new ones. Be sure, if you've got follow-up questions or ideas, please engage in Discord. We always welcome that. And have a fantastic week, and hopefully see you all next week for our weekly call. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.